Hello friends, in today's vlog I am going to tell you something about my personal life and why I am telling you all this, because you will get a perspective of the situation in other countries. As you know that I was born in India, Ahmedabad, and so the origin country or the place of my birth was India. I migrated to Pakistan at the age of 32, and I've been living in Pakistan for more than 25 years. Now I'd like to share with you why did I migrate from India to Pakistan at the age of 32. Well, to give you a brief idea about my early life, I took education in one of the finest missionary schools of Ahmedabad, and I grew up with boys of all the different faiths, and there were hardly any Muslims in that missionary school. Mostly there were Hindus, Jains, Sikh, Parsis, Christians, and as a Muslim, I had very few more students who were Muslims in the entire school. Okay, now after my schooling, I did my graduation in commerce. I did my 2 semesters in studying law, and then I had to join my ancestral business of agriculture because my dad was not keeping very good health and had to give up my career as an advocate and stopped my studies midway and took up agriculture as my profession. So it's very unusual, you will see, for an Indian Muslim to be in agriculture, but that was my family business from the time of my grandfather. We had lands and we were cultivating the lands. We had dairy farms. We had cattle on our farms. I did a number of businesses apart from this in Ahmedabad. I did table printing of fabrics. I did a little bit of construction, and also sometime I was sub-broker in the stock exchange. So overall, what were my experiences and why did I finally decide to leave India and migrate to Pakistan? Well, as you know that Ahmedabad was very riot prone. There used to be many riots between the Hindu and the Muslim community, and we were always living in fear. But that used to happen maybe once or twice, once in a year or even once in 2 years, couple of years. But when that situation used to arise, it was really very fearsome. I got married to a Pakistani in 1989. My wife came and lived with us in Ahmedabad for about 6-7 years, and we also had a daughter who was again an Indian national. But suddenly things started becoming very difficult with the coming of the BJP government. We used to face a lot of discrimination, especially in the government organizations. The laws were very stringent regarding Land Ceiling Act, estate duty, income tax, then property tax. Well, the laws are same for everybody, but as a Muslim, there was a lot of discrimination. We used to face a lot of harassment in each and every government department. You go to the municipal corporation for property matters, they used to really rip you off. They used to make false cases against you. Even in income tax, then there were other taxes like capital gains, estate duties. So whenever you had to go to them, they should really give you a discriminatory treatment and put you in a real very difficult position. Then again, you could not live in a nice area. We could not work in a nice area because whenever the riots used to happen, we used to face immense difficulties. I remember that for months I could not even go to my agricultural lands because the agricultural land was something like 20 kilometers away from my home, and passing through all the Hindu areas, and people around my farm, they used to know that this farm belongs to a Muslim. So I was always living in fear that I would be attacked anytime, and there were many attacks on my farms also. But because all the workers were Hindus, so they used to tell the people who used to come to attack that we are Hindus. If you burn our houses, then the loss will be ours and not the owners. So somehow, they were saved, and I did not. I could escape my life, but I could not go to my farms for months together. But ultimately, when the Babri Masjid incident took place, and the Babri Masjid was broken down by the Hindu extremists, the fear of Indian Muslims was at its peak. My dad also had expired, and I was left all alone. I could not manage my properties because of fear, because of government discrimination and harassment and all. And I was the only son of my father, and I had a sister, but she was not in Ahmedabad. I did not have any relatives or close relatives in Ahmedabad whom I could, fall back on in times of difficulties. So that was the Babri Masjid incident was the time when I firmly decided that I have to get out of here, because I will never be safe. I will keep on facing persecution from the government departments, and my life will be very miserable, and the whole life would be spent rushing from one government department to another department. So I took the decision to migrate because it was my wife's hometown. She had a lot of relatives, and I even had my relatives in Hyderabad, Sindh. So I knew that I had some help over here. So that was the time I decided to migrate to Pakistan, but at the age of 32, with my family, with my mother, my wife, and my daughter. Except my wife, all were Indian nationals. It was a very, very difficult decision to transfer your wealth. But when I took the decision, I said, whatever the cost I have to pay, even if my property is sold at a very low rate, I have to get out of here. And I'll be very honest with you. At that time, Pakistan currency was much stronger. It was 20% stronger. For every 120 rupees of India, I used to get 100 rupees Pakistani. And now what is the situation? Pakistan currency is at the low, and it is Indian currency is 3.5 times. So you can understand what the situation is. But apart from all that, I am still happy. I don't repent the decision migrating to Pakistan, and I started my life all over again at the age of 32. And I had to face a lot of challenges because I did not have a nationality. My daughter, my mother did not have a nationality. So we had to, for 2-3 years, life was very difficult. We fought at every level to get the citizenship, and finally we managed to get our citizenship, and it took us 2-3 years of depression and very difficult time to relocate from India to Pakistan. But finally I made it, and I am thankful to God that at least I can live here in a good environment, in a safe environment, fearlessly. I can work in a good environment, I can stay in a good environment, and this is a blessing. You can't live in fear all your life. So I'm glad I took the decision, and finally I am here in Karachi, Pakistan. I'll keep you updated with the next chapter of my life. Thank you. Please do follow me and like my videos and recommend it to your friends. I need your viewership. Thank you very much.